Welcome to Ground Up Growth, where we share entrepreneurial insights, business strategies, and personal growth lessons to help listeners build success from the ground up.
Welcome back to Ground Up Growth. Today we have Morgan Springfield here with Springfield Heating Air. This is episode 19. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on. Let's dive in.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. Tell me a little bit about how old you are, where you from.
I'm 48 years old. I'm from Greenwood.
Married, kids?
Married for 23 years. Got two boys. I got a 19-year-old who just graduated high school. He's, in HVAC school at Holmes. And then Joel, my youngest one, he's 16. He's at Madison Central. He's in 11th grade. Wife works at Trustmark, and we moved to Madison back in 2002. My wife took a job at Trustmark in their management training program out of college, and we went to, I guess if you want to start.
Yeah, let's see. Hang on, let's see. So you're from Greenwood, so where'd you go to high school?
I went to Kruger-Chula. I went to Pillow Academy through the second grade. Then I was held back in the second grade, and I ended up going to Kruger-Chula Academy.
Okay.
And graduated from Kruger-Chula Academy in 97. And my wife graduated in 96.
So y'all are both from the Greenwood area?
Yep. She was living in Edabina, and I was living in Greenwood. And
I didn't know you were from the Delta.
Yep.
So, all right, so y'all got married, and her job brought y'all down here?
Yep. I was working for my dad out of college. We both went to Moorhead, and I went to Moorhead 1 year, played soccer there. She went to Moorhead 2 years, and then when she went to Delta State, I taught my dad. I had a scholarship at Moorhead for free, and my dad was wanting me to stay there for 2 years, but I talked him to let me go to Delta State the second year to be with my Jessica. So we went to Delta State for 4 years, graduated.
What'd you graduate in?
Marketing.
What'd she graduate in?
Business. She was in business. And, but my dad, he, early on, he wouldn't want me to go. He wanted me to, but he always would say, you don't need to go to college. You just need to, you need to learn my business. And
what'd your dad do?
He owned Springfield Electric Heating and Air and Plumbing. He did everything, plumbing, heating and air, electrical. So we did everything. We would wire a house one day or a shop or a airplane hangar, and we may go plumb 3 houses the next day, and we may be running wire. We may be putting air conditioner in for the next 2 or 3 days. So
So you grew up with the service side.
Yeah, we did everything. It wasn't just. We would do any type of electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. We did it. That's what we did.
Okay.
And I grew up. I did a lot of jobs before I went to work for him, like summer jobs. I worked on a farm for 3 years. Worked in a dollar store. I worked in a pawn shop. A guy that. Family friend, he owned a pawn shop, dollar store, furniture store, jewelry store.
Goodness.
I'd deliver furniture on the weekends with the delivery crew, and then I'd be working in a jewelry store during Christmas, or dollar store.
So it was work from
day beginning. One. That's all I did. I the first thing I did was farm. It was like 13, 14, 15. I was riding on a tractor for George Saunders in Edabina. That was probably where I learned to work and hard work and daylight to dark, 6 days a week, thinking, I don't know, I was making $250 a week working, I don't know how many hours. It was, I look back now and I remember that check, thinking I could make a ton of money. And I thought it was a ton of money, but I remember one time a $250 check. And I was like, man, I think I worked 7 days that week, like daylight to dark. And looking back now, I'm like, man, I don't know what he was paying me, but it wasn't a whole lot. But
like,
I was young.
Just keep your chin up, son. You're doing good.
Yeah, we'd be on the front of that tractor. He had a big welded boom. He had recliners welded to the boom with big umbrellas and a spray rig. and it was 4 of us on the front of the tractor. And from daylight till dark, we sat in that recliner and spot spray. They don't do that anymore, but we would spot spray. We'd drive all those fields, and we'd just sit there and spot spray all day long. At lunch, he would bring us a brown paper sack with a bologna sandwich and chips and a drink. We'd sit under the tractor in that dust and just eat. And we did that every day, all summer. And looking back, I was like, man, I don't know if my kids could do that. I mean, it was rough,
Man.
So,
all right, so y'all moved down here in 2002. Y'all were married at that point, I guess, or
2002 we got married, and then that's when we moved down here, got an apartment on Natchez Trace Villages.
Yeah. So so she took a job at Trustmark. What'd you do work-wise when you moved?
Yeah, I got a job. Her dad got me a job at in the RSC Rentals, renting equipment. I was working on the counter over in Jackson off of Highway 80 by Metro Mall. I was renting and selling construction equipment on the counter over there. So I did that for 4 years. The first few years, it was good. Then then that's when I started doing air conditioning a little bit around here. Because I worked for my dad. Well, when I graduated high school, I worked for my dad or college. I worked for my dad 1.5 years full time.
Gotcha.
That's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
But he was just working the crap out of me. And at the time, I was like, man, I'm not doing this for a living. He always told me, you need to learn this, you need to learn this, you need to learn this. And I was learning stuff, but I just wasn't really seeing. My deal was, I'm going to college, I'm getting a degree, and I'm going to make some money.
Gotcha.
Real money. That's what my plan was.
Yeah.
And my wife, she was very smart, independent, straightforward, knew what she wanted to do. And so I followed her, obviously. She was the breadwinner at first, for sure. She was making way more money than I was. That's when I started trying to figure out what else I could do, and that's when I started. My brother was in air conditioning, too, here in Jackson. Okay. He worked for Hermatic Rush. He was very smart, 10 times smarter than I was, book smart and in HVAC. I mean, he did big commercial.
Older brother?
Stuff. My older brother, yeah.
Okay.
He's my half brother. I got 2 half brothers and a sister. One of my half brothers, he was in air conditioning, and me and him got talking and started we decided we were going to build a partnership and start doing air conditioner on the side. So that's what we did. And that's kind of where I really learned air conditioning and airflow and duct work and all that. He taught me a ton about that. That's kind of awesome. If I wouldn't have done that, I don't think I would. It had taken me longer to get to where I am because I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I knew a good bit, but it wasn't near about enough to be running a business. So.
Right.
So we did that for a few years. And
are you still at RSC?
I'm still at RSC.
So you're
just at night.
Burning the candle at both ends, moonlighting?
I did that for 10 years, from daylight till 12 o'clock at night. Like I'd come home, my plate would be in the microwave every night for 10 years. I was like, it started out, I was on the counter at NES, RSC, wasn't making much money at all. Then my boss left and went to another company, which is NES Rental, and he hired me over there as an outside rep. That's when I started making decent money, a little more flexible. And but at that time, I knew when I was working on the counter, wasn't making any money, I had to do something. I had to figure something out because the bills we're trying to have a family around here, and it was, when I'm from, it didn't cost that much to live. I moved here, and all of a sudden I go from not having no bills to having a $1,500 a month note. My dad, when I left my dad, working for my dad, I didn't have any money. He gave me $5,000. I think it was for maybe to put down on my truck or something. And that's the last dime I ever saw out of my dad ever.
Yeah.
Was that. And it was, he would help me if I needed it, but I never asked him, and he never gave me another dime.
Yeah.
So I had to figure something out, and, because we weren't doing good financially. I mean, we were saving some money, but we were using a lot of our savings, what we were trying to save to pay bills. So that's when I started doing side work on the weekends and at night, trying to figure it out. And, and then I kind of had, come to Jesus with myself, I got to figure, I was sitting in my driveway one night and I just started bawling, crying. I didn't know what to do because all my friends, a lot of my friends had it figured out. They were making a lot more money than I was. And
how old were you at this point?
Man, we got married. I don't know. It was like literally like 2004. I don't even know how old I was. I mean, it was 2 years into me working full time.
Y'all been married how long at that point?
2 years.
Okay, you've been married 2 years.
24.
You lived in an apartment, working in an RSC. Your wife's got a job at Trustmark.
And then she's
Sounds
working.
Like you were at a crossroads and you didn't know what you wanted to do and just kind of.
That's what it was. I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. I knew I needed to do something because I was trying to picture having kids and house and all this stuff, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to be able to do that off what I was making. I was like, I couldn't see it. So that's when I went back to HVAC and said, I know how to work with my hands. I just need to figure out how I can make this work. So that's when me and my brother started doing stuff together. That didn't work out between me and him. So that's when I really started trying to get stuff figured out myself. So I started doing air conditioner work for all my friends, family, whoever, nights, weekends. I would even get friends of mine that were making enough money they didn't have to be working for me. They would come at night and just help me till 10, 11 o'clock, just help me out. And we were working in South Jackson, in a bad part of town, and they would work 2 or 3 times for me and be like, I'm out, I can't do this no more. Because, I would be down there by myself on these rental houses for these people in this attic by myself with a pistol in my pocket, ducking houses and putting ductwork in by myself. And I would get supply house people, people that work supply house to help me at night. I was doing whatever it took. So during all that time, I started making a little money on the side.
So what year was that? 2004 when you kind of went out on your own?
No, I didn't get out on my own until 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is 2004.
This is like 2004. I started doing side work.
Hustling.
But still, I had a job. I went from working on a counter to had a job. They were paying my truck note, insurance, good salary, all that stuff. So it was hard to leave that.
Right, yeah.
So I did that for a while. But in the meantime, all that was going on. Me and a buddy of mine, Adams talked about this, during about 05, 06, we had some of the same friends. They started buying and selling houses. Like they would buy them and fix them up and sell them, to people they shouldn't be selling them to that couldn't afford them. And I was doing the air conditioner on them. Mm-hmm. So I started doing good. I'd do that at night and weekends doing that. So I decided, they were making tons of money doing that. So I was like, man, I got to figure out how to do
Get
that.
in on this.
Yeah. So, and at the time I had a little money, but I didn't have enough money to really be doing that. So I called a buddy of mine, and we formed a company called Pull More Properties. And we started buying houses and fixing them up and selling them. We did a few of them, then we ended up, we may have ended up with 6, 7, 8 houses. And I was doing all the work.
This is before the 09 crash?
Oh, yeah, this was before that.
Okay.
About a year before that. So we bought and sold a pretty good one in Northeast Jackson, made some good money on it, and that's about the last time we made any money. He wasn't, my partner wasn't involved in it. He had some more money. He had money, so he was helping me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it by myself, so he was like, we'll set this up with the bank and you do all the work.
Yeah, you do the work.
Yeah.
And
then we'll figure we'll split the money. So,
right.
And I was out there hustling, man. I was doing air conditioning, renting equipment, and buying and selling houses at the same time. Whatever it took, I was trying to make something hit because I knew it was just.
And you're probably about to have kids or having kids?
Oh, yeah. 2006, I had my first kid, and I was...
So you're in the thicket.
Yeah. In 2009, my second. But I was trying to figure it out.
But, you grew up with a work ethic that
I
a lot of folks don't have. That. So it really...
My drive was not...
I was fixing to say, it's... Because me and you are parallel on a lot of that stuff. Because, I grew up same deal, exposed to a very hard work ethic. And it sounds like a lot, and it is like a lot, but at the end of the day, in the moment, it wasn't that big a deal. Like, that's all
right.
you knew was to grind.
That's right. I look back now, and my wife mentions that a lot about how hard I work, and I don't really think about it because it's just my drive. Like, I don't think about it.
It's in your DNA.
I love getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It ain't like
Right.
I have to do it. It's what I like to do.
Right.
And then I'll work till whenever. It don't matter to me. But
Right.
so yeah, and that's the thing. I was trying to do whatever it took. So we did that, but then all of a sudden, when that crash hit, people weren't buying. The house we had, the people we were trying to sell to didn't have any. They weren't letting them buy houses anymore.
Yeah.
So we ended up with all those houses. So yeah, then we started renting them, and it was a terrible thing because it was in South Jackson. It was always something. People stealing stuff. I had one house, they totally ripped out everything. I mean, it was a bad deal. So we ended up gradually sold all of them but one. I kept one I have had for 15 years on Megarera Boulevard.
You still got it now?
No, I sold it about 3 years ago, but I had it 15, 16. It was the first house I bought I probably had, I don't even know, I had way less in my checking account or my savings account than the house I paid for the house. So I didn't have no sense in buying a rental house, but I wanted a rental house. Everybody,
Yeah.
So I figured I had two banks, a couple of them people that I grew up with, like playing ball with from different areas around here. They denied me the loan. Somehow I can't even remember how I got the loan, but I ended up getting a loan. Then I refinanced it right after I got it. Took $10,000 out of it like an idiot. I don't know why, because by the time you take 10 out and then all the whatever, you end up with 7 or 8.
Right.
And then you owe another 10,000 on the house.
Right.
But it was good because when I bought the house, a lady moved in it and she lived in it till the day I sold it. And
15 years?
15 years.
Goodness.
It was a HUD house. I was getting paid like $850 a month for like a $30,000 house. So it wasn't bad.
Yeah, them numbers work.
But it was in a very bad area. But the street, out of all that area, that street was a good street. So I come out pretty good on that deal. But after that, I got out of that.
Out of the rental game, and you don't own any rental houses today.
I don't own any today. I tried to get back in it a couple of years ago in some nicer areas, but I figured out real quick.
You're a little bruised from.
Yeah, I got sick of people calling me. Yeah, they would call me my doorknob, my toilet, my all this, and I didn't want. I was too cheap to pay a management company because
Perfect example was last night at 10 o'clock. My tenant, my tenant texts me.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's always something.
Yeah, it's always something, and I just, if I had 5 or 6, it's a lot easier owning 5 or 6 than it is owning one. Because I would actually have somebody else manage it if I had a lot. But I had one. I was like, I'm not going to get somebody to manage one rental property. So, but I couldn't deal with that because you got to run it like a business. And I was so focused on trying to grow my air conditioner business and do the other job that I couldn't focus on that. Right. So I bailed on it. So after that, I just started focusing on air conditioning. That's my goal after that was to figure out a way to do air conditioning full time. That's what was my deal. But every time I thought about it, I was like, how am I going to be able to quit my job, run an air conditioner business, or do air conditioner work myself and be able to afford all the stuff it takes.
Because it's not like you could just turn and go hire 5 people.
No,
and
I
put
couldn't
them on
go
payroll.
buy. My first work truck, my dad gave me. I think I paid him $100. And I think that was in 2010 when I started my company. And no, I quit my job, my rental job. My boss came in there. Before he was my boss, he was under me on the counter when I was in sales. He knew I was doing a lot of heating and air work at night and weekends, and I'd put air conditioner in his house. Well, when he became my boss, he knew what I was doing. Mm-hmm. So
I was curious about that.
And they were cutting my pay all the time. Like if I built up a territory or your territory started doing good, they would say, well, we're going to split this up because we feel like in that area we need two people.
Right.
Well, that would pretty much cut my salary in half, which it wasn't that big of a deal because at that time I was making decent money over here on the side, like weekend cash money, whatever, so I could afford to save a little money and pay my bills. But about 2010, he came in, he called me in his office. He's like, you got to make a decision. You need to make a decision on what you're going to do. Are you going to do air conditioning or are you going to rent equipment? And I said, all right.
Did you see that coming? Or was that a blindside?
Well,
you probably,
I was trying to figure out how to make that decision.
You knew where you were going.
I knew where I was going, but I didn't know how I was getting there. And I didn't know, I couldn't just say, it's hard when you got somebody paying your truck note and you driving a brand new truck, they're paying your gas and they're paying your insurance.
It's almost like a blessing in disguise that he pushed you to an ultimatum.
But as soon as he told me that, I was done. I was like, I'm putting him a 2 weeks notice right now, and it was over with. And I'm glad he did that because I don't know, it may have taken me a little while or something else could have happened. I could have got fired by some, and that would have been even worse,
Well, you would have held on to that safety net of truck insurance and whatever else.
It was more the insurance, and I still to this day. Everybody talks about, like, I don't want to quit my job because the insurance. But looking back now, the insurance didn't really, $1,300 a month, and you're holding back on what your dream over $1,300, $1,500 a month.
That's a great point.
Back then, it was a lot of money, but looking back now, it's like, who cares about that crap? If you got to drive, that you're going to way past.
I agree.
That's minimum.
I agree 100%. I am a nuts and bolts numbers guy, and like if it's $1,000 a month health insurance, I look at that on the gross of $12,000. So it's $12,000 a year to have the insurance. So if you're making $50,000 and you're paying $12,000 in insurance, it's no different than having another job paying $62,000. So if you could, to your point, like if the low hanging fruit to keep you there is the health insurance, but you're holding back from making 100, 150 by starting your own company or whatever it is, it's a ball and chain is really all it is.
Yeah, my wife's she's pretty, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be anywhere where I'm at because she's pretty, I'll take risk if I know I'm in control or if I can adjust myself.
I've sold you some land. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, if it took a while to convince her, but after that first piece, she realized the first she saw what we did. The first, I think I trust this Paul guy. Let's go talk to him again.
There you go. No, you gotta have somebody to ground you and keep you.
That's right, because I would have done a lot of stuff, and I'd have probably spent all of my money I've got right now if I wouldn't have been for her. On land, tractors,
I agree.
All that. So, so in 2010 when I quit my job, my dad gave me a truck. It was a 92 single cab, 3/4 ton work truck. I think I rode in that truck when I was a kid, worked out of it. And it still smelled the same, which is that horrible smell that you get in when you're in a work truck that's cab filter has never been changed, and it's just work. I still smell it to this day. It's just sitting in between two guys going to work every morning. Man, I hate that.
Yep.
But he gave me that truck. I went down on 220 to that pull apart place. It didn't pull apart. It was an old scrap yard, and I bought a pipe rack to put on it. I sanded it down, painted it, set it all up, and that was kind of my first work truck. And I had a guy that helped me here and there, and in my next step, I had a guy that was kind of my helper. He'd help me here and there when I needed. He wasn't like a full-time employee, but he was just helping me.
But so when you left RSC and you went full-time, and at that point you're starting a business, right?
I'm starting a business.
You're not just moonlighting. You got a name.
No, I thought I was busy whenever I thought I was busy. I thought I was getting it whenever I was doing it on the side. But when you quit your job and you go to it full-time, you're not as busy as you think you are. You're busy because you're nights and weekends.
Right.
But when you're working, you got 5 days in a week. What you were doing on the weekends, you can get that done pretty quick when you got 5 days or 6 days in a week. So I wasn't making as much. That first year in 2010, I don't think I made but $40,000. In air conditioning that first year. It just wasn't And that wasn't a lot of money when you got kids and
Yeah.
this and that, and it was this. And
So
then
how did
plus,
you-
you know, I'm working and using my truck, my gas, my maintenance, tires, all that. So first year wasn't good, but
So how'd you pour gas on it? Because I mean, how, like, just to fast forward and then we'll go back, but like right now, how many technicians, just kind of frame up what Springfield looks like right now?
I mean, I've got 10 trucks right now. I'm working, it depends on summertime, whatever. You know, sometimes I'm working 16 people total, 2 in the office, and then we got 10 guys plus another 4 or 5 duct guys that do all my duct, you know, that do nothing but duct work.
Yeah. Y'all do new construction.
We do new
maintenance.
construction. We do commercial. No, you know, we do small. We change outs. A lot of service work. We do a lot of new construction around here. We do tons of new construction. Probably 30% of our business right now. 25% of my business right now is new construction.
Okay.
Probably 12, 13% is commercial, and the rest is all residential.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of big, you know, commercial projects too. Like we just changed out 96 units over here at Madison Station on Reunion Drive. We changed out 90-something units in Crystal Springs probably about 4 months ago. I mean, we do a lot of big commercial also, but I don't focus on that. I just, if opportunity's there or somebody, you know, some contractors I have relationships, if they, you know, when I'm not just slam on residential and they need me to price like a nursing home or something, we'll go do it, you know. We do whatever. We're not like a service and change out residential business. We do whatever it is to pay the bills, and if we get slow, we're doing commercial or whatever.
So what would you contribute to the growth? Like what do you think was the biggest thing to go from, you know, from where you did with 192 model truck to where you're at now? Do you think, I mean, besides hard work, I mean, is there, because I feel like you do a really good job on marketing. I mean, you've obviously got, I mean, your social media and stuff, you got marketing agency, I assume, you wrap your trucks. I mean, like, you're not just, there's a method to the madness to get to where you I would say.
Yeah, obviously it took me a while to get here, and that kind of irritates me sometimes. Knowing what I know now, I think I could have done it quicker, but I didn't have the money to do it quicker. Like some people getting in this business now, that they got another job, they've been successful. Now they're just buying some trucks and then losing money 2 or 3 years till they, just because nowadays you got so much, you got podcasts. I listen to those every single day, all day. That's all I do is listen to marketing podcasts and companies way bigger than me that are out there helping smaller companies like me figure out how to do what I need to do to be able to market, hire people, delegate. So
you're investing in yourself, and that's
like
in a service
nonstop.
industry like you're in, you know, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, whatever. I would think the majority of people are just working through the day. They're not trying to invest in themselves, listen to podcasts.
It took me a while to do that because I was so focused on, and that's what I have a hard time doing right now I like to be out there making sure, you know, when you got 10 trucks running around in houses and you got people around Madison that for so many years were used to me showing up.
Right.
When they call, you know, probably over half the business we get is people that know me or have had me at their house before. Mm-hmm. And I know it sucks to them because I've had it, you know, when I first had to transition from them calling me, trying to get them to call my office, I felt bad about that.
Right.
Because some people want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to the office. They want to talk to you. They've been doing business with you for 10 years. They don't want to talk to somebody else. But
that is a tough thing.
It took me a long time until the last 2 years. I feel like I've got it figured out now. It's taken me 15 years, 16, 17 years. But in the last year and a half, I think the last 2 years, I doubled my business in the last 3 years. And I've started to figure out what I need to do to move that bar.
Is that delegation? Is that a big part
of it? It's delegation. But going back to what you asked earlier is it took me a while to get there. Baby steps to get to where I'm at now. Way baby steps. It took me from 2010 to now to get to where I really. But my vendors, you know, I've got so many vendors in town, and they all want me to buy from them. But there's 2 vendors in town that have built my business. One of them, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. And that's a train dealer here in town, Butcher Distributing. But they, you know, they have, you know, they invest in you because they want you to buy more.
Right.
They help you with marketing, but they also have all these classes, and they tell you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. Like, we go to all these classes, and they just pound it. You need to do this, you need to do this. I'm like, man, I can't afford to do that. I ain't finna give somebody $50,000 to, and then on a prayer that I'm gonna get it back, you know. And then so for years they told me all this stuff I need to be doing, and I was like, man, I don't see it, so I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then 3 years ago, it was like, you know, I'd built up money over time because I've been saving money for years.
Right. Yeah.
And I finally said, forget it, you know, I'm just going to do it. So they told me they'd help me. So they helped me do it, and it paid off. And now it's, you know, they're great vendors. You know, I can call them right now. I could get on the phone right now and say, I need something delivered in 2 hours to your house. You're building a house, and they'd send a whole truck. You know, now every day I've got a truck going somewhere for them that are taking stuff somewhere.
Yeah.
If I had to hire people and go get it and take it and I wouldn't be able to grow and do the things I do. So they've helped me a lot with that.
So investing in yourself through podcasts and just kind of discipline and just, you know, doing that, and it sounds like relationships is a huge component of it.
That's what, and me, you know, starting to implement. But delegation has been really the key the last year and a half, or 2 years.
So I'm terrible at it.
You know, because I want to do everything. I want to go look at the job. I want to go take it off. I want to go make sure they're doing it exactly like I want it done, which it never happens. But you can't do that if you're going to grow. You can't do that. You got to let them make mistakes. You got to make customers mad sometimes. You got to hope they understand that not everybody's like you. Right. Not saying I'm perfect by no means. I've screwed a lot of stuff up. But you got, at some point in time, that's how these business, like some of my competitors that have 100 trucks, you know, they're not on every job. Those guys out there ain't no better than my guys or me. But they delegated stuff, and I've started to train more. We're trying to have meetings every week. I went 3 years without having a meeting with my guys because we were so slammed. You know, we doubled our business in 2 years with the same amount of employees. And we grinded like nobody's business. Yeah. So now I'm trying to do more training,
invest
classes.
In your people. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm at where I'm at right now is what my goal for my lifetime goal was, a certain revenue number. Yeah. 4 years ago. Well, I'm haven't doubled that, but I'm close to doubling what if I could just get here, I'd be satisfied. So, but I'm at a place now where I'm fixing to have to make some big moves to get to the next level, which at first I was like, man, I'm not, at my age, I was like, man, I'm kind of satisfied. I think I'm on just, but I don't know. Every time I say that,
you got that drive,
I got that,
I
got that in my stomach. I tell my wife it's in my stomach, and I just like, you can feel it in your stomach. You like, it's just that grind. And I'm like, man, I can't do that. I've got to figure out.
But I mean, if you were to hang the cleats up or do, hit coast or whatever it is, you've hit your goals, and it's like you're at the pinnacle of your career per se, and it's like I've been in that situation where I'm like, but okay, if I do that, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I know how I'm gonna feel, just like you said, and it's gonna be, where's the next challenge?
Well, I tell everybody, I tell my wife, we're talking about, we got a goal, we're saving for, we're going to retire at 60. We're going to retire at 62. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it's like, I'm not going to be able to.
But you love what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the
biggest.
I mean,
my job, like, I live a dream every day. That's what I tell my wife, everybody. I'm glad my dad was in this business, because if he wasn't in this business, I wouldn't have been in this business. I wouldn't learn anything. Because I wake up every day. I don't wake up every day dreading I got to go to work. I can do what I want to do, but I choose to go into work every day and work 10, 12 hours a day, and then do what I want to do. You know, I like having good, nice things. I like buying land and, you know, stuff like that. So
investing in land.
It's invest. Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, my wife. I'm not.
We got to get Jessica's glossary. We got to get the words right there.
Well, that's yeah. She thank God for Instagram. She saw 2 Instagram reels and she's like, let's buy some more land. I was like, heck yeah, let's go.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Great investment.
That's it.
But yeah, so you know, that's, you know, you have all these goals, but in the end, you know, you talk a big game. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, you know. Mm-hmm.
And that changes throughout that path.
But if I ever do quit, I'm definitely coming to you, because I'm going into real estate if I ever. I love looking at land. I love, you know.
That's where I'm like.
The first time I called you, when I was like, had it in my brain, I never thought I could buy land ever. I never thought I would even.
Is that not the coolest feeling, to buy your first piece of land?
When you know your wife just said you can go buy some land, and then you start looking at land going, I cannot believe this is fixing to happen. This is the most exciting time, you know. And it was awesome.
There's something about it.
It's just going and looking at land. And then when you go and then like when you find that piece of land and you own it and you own it, you know, nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what to kill. Nobody can tell you anything. You drive up there and you own it and it's yours and you can do whatever you want to do. And that's the best feeling, man. I tell people all the time. That's the best. I've never bought anything that made me feel like that does, ever. Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. And I would rather own 40 acres than be in a club of 4,000 acres.
No doubt. Like I hunted over on the river in Kings Point Island for about 6-7 years. Awesome deer hunting. Is it a deer count? Always a lot of drama.
Right.
You know, it's just, you can't do this, you can't do that, and everybody, so-and-so did this.
That's my deer, that's my stand.
That's all, yeah.
He doesn't work, he hunts 5 days a week. I have to work, I don't get to hunt.
Oh, my God. So finally it changed hands. We all, the guy, you know, everybody got out of the camp, maybe 2 of his buddies, whatever. So you know, at that point, I was like, man, what should I do? You know, I wasn't going back to the $1,000 a year deer camp type situation ever again. Mm-hmm. Well, then I was going to go into buying camp, this stuff like that. I was like, man, that's nothing but a high dollar drama hunting camp. Yep. So I was like, I can't do that. But thank God I got out of that camp. I'd probably still be in that camp today and not own any land if that wouldn't have happened to me, because I was satisfied.
Well, it sounds parallel with the guy giving you the ultimatum at RSC of do you want to be in?
I mean, everything happens for a reason. My wife says it every single day. It's like when I have issues or something isn't going right at work, or, you know, everything happens for a reason. And it always ends up being better in the end.
That's awesome.
So, but I do thank you for finding that land for me, because if you wouldn't have pushed me to buy that piece, I'll never sell that piece of property, I don't think.
Really? That's awesome.
I mean, I'll never.
And that's the thing.
I've had 3 people, a neighbor and 2 more people, call me several times wanting to buy it from me, and I don't care what they offer. It will not be sold unless financially I have to sell it. Right. I'll never sell that piece of property.
Well, if it's worth that today, it's worth that tomorrow. Is one way to look at that. And so,
I mean, it ain't going
right. And it's only going up, and buying in a good area and all that. No,
that's the key. That's the key I've learned too. I mean, you know, I'm just like y'all. Y'all just like me. I mean, you don't ever, you know more about the market and about the land, but in the end, you don't really know the future. No, we don't. If you did, you'd have bought everything
for sure.
2001, you'd have bought. Yeah. You'd spend every dime you had, probably.
Exactly. No, and that's see, like I'm a real estate salesperson, or I'm a broker, but like I'm a salesperson, but I cannot stand being salesy. Like that's just not in my blood. I don't want nothing to do with it. And I miss out on some sales that, like, I could talk you into doing something maybe, or for sure talk you out of doing something. But like, I just don't, I like it to be your decision. The lands don't speak for itself a lot of times, but there are times where, like, because you're always looking for a reason out of a deal.
Right.
We talked about this on Bridgeford Rutledge's podcast. You're always looking, there's always a way to get out of it. There's a reason that it doesn't work. But sometimes you do need prodded along a little bit, because it'd be one thing if you and 10 of your buddies are looking at this tract and everybody's like, let's buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. But no, it's not. When you're out there buying that piece of land, you're by yourself. And it's you and your mind. And it's like, your mind's telling you, should you really spend $500,000 or whatever the number is on a piece of land? And you're like, that's, and you go home, talk to your wife. And then, like, it's so easy to talk yourself out of it. But I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, other than, like, my position of, like, trying to just point out the positives to somebody. I don't like being salesy, but there's a lot of times that I need, like, the best interest of the client is to buy this place. They really kind of need, like, a little nudging.
Oh, I know. It took,
well, like, your deals,
I
it's
mean,
like,
when you
analyzing,
you know how long it took to make that money.
Right.
And you finna cut a check for that,
It's a big deal.
You're like, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, especially this last piece I bought, I mean, if you people all the time, that's why I told my wife, I mean, I don't want money sitting in the bank when I can take it and put it in some land, and I can go every weekend out there.
Tangible asset, yeah.
I can go out there and use it every weekend. If we need to sell it, we can sell it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not losing money.
Right.
So, and I think some people, just don't see it that way. Or I've had a lot of people say, man, what are you going to do with 150 acres, 200 acres? You can't really hunt that. I'm like, to me now, like, it isn't about the hunting to me out there anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, I own 250 acres. I hadn't even been hunted at one time.
Right.
This year, like both seasons, since October 1st.
I haven't either.
You would think if I was in a camp, I'd probably be burning it up.
Right. Trying to get your money's worth.
Yeah, trying to get my money's worth. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now, I go out there every weekend.
Right.
3 days a week, I'm at my farm doing something. I'm on a tractor.
But it's a different feeling when you're standing on your land.
Like, man, you're running a deer off. I don't give two craps about them deer.
Right.
I want a bush hog. I want to make a food plot. And I want to go sit in a deer stand and maybe make a kid happy killing a big deer out on my place or something.
And you know what you don't have to do is sign in at the checking board.
I don't have to do nothing. I pull up and I own that place. I can park where I want to.
That's awesome.
So
that is all a byproduct of working hard, building a business, sowing a seed for 15, 20 years, whatever it is. And so, like, I know we're getting near the end here, but I want you to, you've got a really incredible story and a warpath to get to success. And if you had to tell Morgan Springfield of 18 years old that was at a crossroads of, not necessarily do I go to college or whatever, but, like, what am I doing in life? Kind of like where you were sitting at a crossroads, like, any big insight, any kind of, as far as pursuing a dream or not knowing what to do.
I would tell everything today is trades are awesome. I would just tell anybody, if you don't know what to do and you're just going to go to college, not saying don't go to college, you're going to college just to go to college and just get a degree, and you really want to do something more than that. Trade is, I think, an awesome place to go, because it's no limit to what you can do in a trade. There's nobody looking at your what kind of grades you made in high school or what kind of grades you made in college. Mm-hmm. It's what you know, how hard you work, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Today's business is, most people, there's some places you have to have a degree, but it's in the end, these business owners, they're going to pay you off what you know. Mm-hmm. And you need to learn something. That's the thing. You need to learn something, and you need to be good at it. I mean, just going around, I'm going to do this and that and float around. That's why I keep telling my kids, my son's in HVAC school, and I was telling him, I was like, I know you hate school, but learning a trade's not school. That's learning a career, something that's going to make you money. You want to have all these toys and all this stuff. You got to pay for it somehow. So I would tell anybody that you just need to figure out what you got to figure out what you want to do. I don't know what to tell them, because like I tell my wife's always like, "What? Sam doesn't want to work Friday. What do you think? He's out of school." I was like, "Look, I'm gonna let him. He's in college. I'm gonna let him have his time, but I know, I'm gonna reel him in at some point. But I'm gonna give him a little time." But I just tell anybody that's 18 years old, they need to figure out, a trade's a great business. Electrician, plumbing, HVAC. I mean, I would try to focus on that, If they don't know what they want to do, you don't have to go to college.
Yeah. I mean, the trade industry, we've talked about this because I've done Pat and Ford's come on, and like the trade industry, I agree, it's like a resurgence of just like, it's becoming like, to me, like just hearing all these stories and interviewing all these people, if I was 18, I would probably pick a trade out and hone in and try to become the best at it, because that's my only regret. More people today don't know how to do anything.
Oh yeah.
Not even change a light bulb.
Especially younger.
Right. And so it's like it's just got to be job security if you know a trade. And HVAC obviously is one of the best ones. I mean, you're living in the South. I mean, I have a group of rental houses, and it's the HVAC man is making more money than the landlord. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my dad. When I was in high school, I was in 11th grade. My daddy was like, "You just need to quit." I was complaining about school and stuff, and he was like, "You just need to quit and go to work." He said, "That's the best thing you can do." Of course, my mom was like, "No, you're not quitting school." But, but he told me countless times, "You ain't gonna make money working for nobody else," which is false. You can do that, but
yeah.
He just always said that, and always said, "You need to learn this and learn this." I was like, "You're crazy. I'm going to college and moving to Jackson, gonna make find a $30,000 house is what I thought, a fixer upper." That was what I told my wife, until I got down here and realized there wasn't no $30,000 houses, right, and the rent was $1,500 a month. So it was not wasn't too good. But anyway, I would just tell them, pick a trade, man. It's awesome. You can make as much money as you want to. Mm-hmm. You can go where you want to go. People are going to pay you good for what you know. Mm-hmm. The more money you can, make them, the more money you're going to make. Mm-hmm. Because most of these trade companies, they're paying these guys good that are working hard and doing good. So if you're being paid off what you know, and that's what I keep telling my son and all these younger kids, even out of college. I mean, you're not coming out of college making a ton of money in anything, really. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but it's right. All in the end, you're getting paid off what you know.
Yep, and the value
the value you bring to the company you work for.
You're exactly right.
So that's what I tell everybody. I got a couple of young guys working for me right now, and that's what I tell them. I was like, learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
So
no, I think you're spot on. The value, I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, I know a guy that literally flies around the country creating trust for extremely wealthy individuals, charges $150,000 to do this, estate planning type stuff. But it's not about the time. It's about, I can save you this amount of money. You pay the man.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, because
to your point,
most people that are doing that and making that kind of money and know that kind of stuff, they're getting, that's like everybody talk, that doctor's making all this money. Well, yeah, that doctor's worth that.
Right.
I mean, a doctor is worth a lot of money because, I mean, I wouldn't want to go do this job.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I pay him whatever he needs, whatever he charges, So I never talk about, man, I can't believe he's making that kind of money. People are making that kind of money because they're worth that kind of money.
Man, that's
and
good.
I never say that. Maybe when I was younger, but nowadays I know how hard it is to get somewhere.
It. Yeah, that's right.
And people may look at me and, say stuff, but I mean, I know I don't know. I don't listen to that crap no more. And I know people that are successful, they got there. I know how they got there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't given to them. I mean, there may be some cases. But
yeah. Man, you got an incredible story. I could resonate with a lot of that and the hard work and just the delayed gratification. I mean, I feel like you're proof of concept on that, putting off years and years and years of hard work, saving, and then buying the land.
Yep.
Not going out and buying the land and trying to figure out how to pay for it.
No, I wouldn't. My wife wasn't having that.
There you go. Well, Morgan, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I enjoyed this.
Inviting. Thank you.